Let's do an in-depth tour of all my freeze-dried food on the blue wall. I like to call it the wall of blue. So whether you are preparing for the grid to go down, a natural disaster, or if you're just an average person just wanting to have a little bit more of emergency preparations, this wall right here has items from lifting morale to basic necessity needs. So I'm going to go over each item that is on this shelf and give you guys kind of the variety and why I pick some of these items. So whether you prepare for storms or you just prepare for backpacking. Me, I like to go camping, backpacking, hunting. I don't want to carry a bunch of food around with me. So rehydrating and cooking it on the go is super simple and super easy. But if you don't backpack and you don't camp, this is totally feasible for you to have because it does last 20 to 30 years. And you don't need a refrigeration. You don't have to worry about if the power goes out. You don't have to worry about it going bad because it's freeze dried and it's going to last for a really long time. So let me get a step stool because I am super short and we're going to start working our way through all of the freeze-dried food in here. And I'm going to kind of give you a reason why I chose an item or selected an item. These are just some of my absolute favorites that are on this wall. I do have cases and crates filled with this stuff all over the place. I love it. I have it out at our property because over there, I don't really have to worry about it once it's sealed inside of a container of rodents being able to get to it. It lasts a long time and I don't have to have a refrigerator. It's not dependent on electricity for me to have. So let's get to the freeze-dried tour and let's do it. All right, first up is some chow mein, pulled chicken, firecracker chicken, chicken patties with duck fat, buttermilk biscuits, cheddar cheese curds, classic pound cake, and even freeze-dried sushi. On the second row, I have freeze-dried fried rice, freeze-dried black pepper sirloin steaks, freeze-dried sliced ham, walnut pound cake, smoked pulled pork, cookie dough, and sushi. Next, I have sponge cakes, chicken taquitos, sushi, sushi California crunch roll, freeze-dried corned beef, freeze-dried sirloin steaks, and freeze-dried cheese omelets. Let's talk about staples though. My pantry of my freeze-dried food is filled with staples from rotini pasta, freeze-dried carrots, grilled eggplants, and one of my absolute favorites, broccoli. And then of course, needing proteins such as pulled chicken and smoked pulled pork, along with freeze-dried scrambled eggs. These aren't just some random bags. Everything here has a purpose. I focus on foods that give me energy, protein, and nutrients. If the grid was to ever go down or a natural disaster, I focus on what is going to give the best nutrition. Let's talk about everyday comforts. That is one area that I do prep in to make life just easier. From freeze-dried French toast, freeze-dried apple chips, and of course, one of my favorites, freeze-dried tortellinis. Some of these may sound silly to you guys, but until you realize in a disaster, comfort foods can keep you sane. It's not just survival, it's quality of life. And these are meals that I know my kids will eat, they love, and they've ate when we've been camping, hiking, backpacking, and hunting. So I like to keep those staples inside my pantry for them to have access to, just in case if there's an emergency. One of my son's favorite foods from here is macaroni and cheese. My son could live off of chicken nuggets, which they do have freeze-dried, and macaroni and cheese till the end of time. As long as there was ketchup, he's pretty happy. Yes, I even have freeze-dried sushi. That is one of my daughter's absolute favorite meals that she has gotten to test multiple times while filming and showing people how to rehydrate it so it doesn't get soggy and melt away. And Alaska king crab. Is it a luxury? Absolutely. But sometimes morale is more important or just as important as calories in a crisis. Keeping your morale high no matter what happens is a positive outlook. It can change group settings and family dynamics from being hostile, upset, fear to let's enjoy something, let's boost our morale, because meal fatigue is actually a big part of prepping that not a lot of people go over. If you're just starting out, don't overwhelm yourself. Begin with the staples: rice, beans, pasta, and then start slowly adding in protein and comfort foods. Shelf life is huge. These bags can last 20 to 30 years sealed properly, which means you're buying food security for decades, not weeks or months. And always rotate in everyday snacks too, so you're not just relying on emergency food. One of our very odd preps is freeze-dried Coca-Cola powder. Why would we do that? Well, if things ever got bad enough, sometimes having a nice whiskey and Coke takes the beat off of the day. One of the areas I focus the most on is my freeze-dried protein. Protein is essential for your body, but that was the first area that I started in my freeze-dried journey. I did get sucked into buying boxes and different meals, and once I realized that how important protein was and how many of those boxes and those meal boxes don't come with high protein, I started to focus my time into making sure that I had a lot of protein on hand to give a lot of variety to different types of meals. So if one day I wanted to have hamburger patties and then a few days later have smoked pulled pork or even a steak, I can rotate these into different style meals. So doomsday or a storm or whatever comes our way feels a little bit closer to normal than feeling all the worry in the world. One of my absolute favorite meals from here is the freeze-dried beef taquitos and the chicken taquitos. They're a little bit different to put together. I have previous videos of me cooking them out at the property. It is one that I always put in my pack, especially with hunting. I love these taquitos. They're full of flavor. They got green chilies in them. And they just are perfect to have in your pack, and know that you don't need to have any refrigeration. All you need is a little bit of water to rehydrate. So that's a peek into my doomsday freeze-dried pantry. It's not about doomsday. It's about having shelf-stable food that can last for decades, protect you and your family, and help you out in a crisis. Tell me what one of the craziest freeze-dried foods you'd be wanting to try. I hope you guys enjoyed this tour. It was many different rows of going behind, making sure you cover your staples, your essential nutrition staples, your comfort items, and of course, throwing an occasional luxury item inside of there will help boost morale no matter what. I hope you enjoyed this tour, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, stay aware, stay prepared, and always have your head on a swivel. I'll catch you on the next one.